Most people think they can't grow many plants because their apartment is too small. Maybe you don't have a balcony. Maybe your floor space is limited. And maybe every corner already feels crowded. But what if I told you that some plants actually grow better when they hang from above? They don't take any floor space. They can make your room feel bigger and more alive. And some of them are so easy to grow that even beginners can keep them thriving. Today, I'm going to show you 7 amazing hanging plants that are perfect for small apartments and tiny spaces. And make sure you stay until the end because the last plant on this list is one of the most unique and drought-tolerant hanging plants you can grow indoors. Why hanging plants are perfect for small spaces in small homes. Space is incredibly valuable. Every shelf, every table, and every corner matters. That's why hanging plants are such a smart solution. Instead of taking up floor space, they use vertical space that most people ignore. This simple trick can completely change the way your apartment feels. Hanging plants can save precious floor space, make small rooms look larger, add natural beauty to empty areas, improve indoor air quality, create a relaxing and calming atmosphere. Even a tiny apartment can start to feel like a lush indoor garden when you add just a few hanging plants. Now let's start with the 7th plant on our list. Plant number 7, spider plant. One of the best hanging plants for beginners is the spider plant. This plant is incredibly popular because it is almost impossible to kill, which makes it perfect for apartment living. The reason it works so well in hanging baskets is because it grows long arching leaves that cascade beautifully downward. Over time, spider plants start producing small baby plants called pups. These little baby plants grow on long stems and hang down from the main plant, creating a very unique look. Another reason people love spider plants is because they grow very quickly compared to many indoor plants. They can adapt to low light conditions, which is helpful for apartments that don't get a lot of sunlight. Spider plants are also known for helping improve indoor air quality. One simple care tip is to water the plant when the soil feels dry, but avoid watering too frequently. The amazing thing is that one spider plant can eventually create dozens of baby plants, which you can grow into new plants. But the next plant on this list is even more famous for its long trailing vines that can grow several feet indoors. Plant number 6, Pothos. If there is one plant that almost everyone recommends for beginners, it's Pothos, also known as devil's ivy. This plant is extremely popular because it is one of the easiest plants in the world to grow. Pothos grows long, trailing vines that look stunning when they hang from baskets, shelves, or wall planters. Some pothos vines can grow over 10 feet long indoors, which creates a beautiful cascading effect. The leaves are usually bright green with golden or light green patterns, making the plant look very decorative. Another great thing about pothos is that it tolerates low light conditions very well. This makes it perfect for apartments where sunlight might be limited. Pothos is also quite forgiving if you forget to water it occasionally. A simple care tip is to let the top layer of soil dry before watering again. And here's something interesting. Pothos plants are famous for being able to grow almost anywhere indoors. But the next plant on this list looks completely different and has one of the most unique leaf shapes you'll ever see on a hanging plant. Plant number 5. String of pearls. The string of pearls plant is one of the most unusual hanging plants you can grow indoors. Instead of flat leaves, this plant grows small, round, bead-like leaves that look exactly like tiny green pearls. As the plant grows, these pearl-shaped leaves form long, trailing strands that fall beautifully from the pot. Many people say this plant looks like something from a fairy garden. It's a very decorative plant that instantly grabs attention. String of pearls prefers bright light and grows best when it receives plenty of indirect sunlight. Unlike many houseplants, it actually prefers less frequent watering. Its round leaves store water, which allows the plant to survive dry conditions. A simple care tip is to let the soil dry out completely before watering again. Because of its unusual look, this plant is often used as a statement plant in small apartments. But if you prefer a more classic and elegant trailing plant, the next one on our list has been loved by plant enthusiasts for generations. Plant number 4, the English ivy, is one of the most classic decorative plants in the world. It has been used in homes and gardens for hundreds of years. This plant grows long trailing vines with beautiful pointed leaves that create a very elegant appearance. English ivy works wonderfully in hanging baskets because the vines naturally grow downward. It can make a room feel more sophisticated and full of life. Many people place English ivy near windows where it can receive bright indirect light. Another reason people love English ivy is because it grows fairly quickly, allowing it to fill empty spaces faster than many other houseplants. It is also known for helping improve indoor air quality. A simple care tip is to keep the soil slightly moist but not overly wet. English ivy prefers consistent moisture but does not like sitting in soggy soil. This plant can create a beautiful cascading effect that transforms an ordinary room into a lush green space. But if you want a plant that creates a soft jungle-like feeling, the next plant on our list is a perfect choice. Plant number 3, Boston Fern. The Boston Fern is famous for its soft, feathery leaves that grow in large fluffy clusters. Unlike many trailing plants that grow long vines, Boston ferns create a full waterfall of delicate green foliage. When placed in a hanging basket, the leaves gently spread out and hang down in all directions. This plant can make a room feel like a mini rainforest. Boston ferns are perfect for apartments because they bring a lot of greenery without taking up floor space. They thrive in areas with indirect light and slightly higher humidity. Another benefit of Boston ferns is that they help improve indoor air quality. A simple care tip is to keep the soil slightly moist and avoid letting it dry out completely. Boston ferns also appreciate occasional misting because they enjoy humid environments. Many people love Boston ferns because they instantly make a space feel fresh, natural, and relaxing. But the next plant on this list is much more delicate and has one of the cutest leaf shapes you'll ever see. Plant number 2, String of Hearts. The String of Hearts plant is one of the most charming hanging plants you can grow indoors. Its name comes from its tiny heart-shaped leaves that grow along long, thin vines. As the plant matures, these vines can grow several feet long, creating a very delicate and romantic look. The leaves often have beautiful patterns with shades of green and silver. Because of its elegant appearance, many people consider it one of the most decorative trailing plants. Despite its delicate look, String of Hearts is actually quite easy to care for. It is also somewhat drought-tolerant because its leaves store water. This means it can survive if you occasionally forget to water it. A simple care tip is to allow the soil to dry slightly between watering. String of Hearts loves bright, indirect light and grows beautifully in well-lit apartments. Many plant lovers say this plant adds a soft and cozy atmosphere to any room. But the final plant on our list is incredibly unique and can survive long periods without water. Plant number 1, Burro's Tail. The final plant on our list is the fascinating Burro's Tail. This plant looks completely different from most hanging plants. Instead of flat leaves, it grows thick trailing stems covered with small plump leaves that store water. As the plant grows, these stems can become quite long and heavy, hanging beautifully from the pot. Burro's tail is a type of succulent, which means it is very drought tolerant. This makes it perfect for people who sometimes forget to water their plants. Because the leaves store water, the plant can survive long periods without needing frequent watering. Its unusual texture and trailing stems make it one of the most unique hanging plants you can add to a small apartment. A simple care tip is to water it only when the soil is completely dry. Burro's tail thrives in bright light and well-draining soil. Its cascading stems create a beautiful natural display that can transform even the smallest space. Before you start hanging plants in your apartment, here are 3 simple tips that can help your plants grow better. Tip 1. Choose lightweight hanging pots so they are easier to place and safer for indoor spaces. Tip 2. Try to place hanging plants near windows with indirect sunlight because most indoor plants grow best with natural light. Tip 3. Be careful not to overwater your plants. Many indoor plants actually die because people water them too often. Allowing the soil to dry slightly between watering usually keeps plants healthier. One of the beautiful things about plants is how they can completely change the atmosphere of a home. Even a tiny apartment can start to feel peaceful, fresh, and alive with just a few plants. A single hanging plant can turn an empty corner into a beautiful green space. And something interesting happens once people start growing plants. 1 plant slowly turns into 3. 3 plants turn into 5. And before you realize it, your small apartment begins to feel like a tiny indoor jungle. Now I'm curious to know your opinion. If you had to choose just 1 hanging plant for your apartment, which one would it be? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoy learning about easy plants that grow well in small spaces, make sure you subscribe for more simple gardening ideas. Because sometimes, your small apartment actually has more space for plants than you think.